Not all cars are built to last. Some will drain your wallet, break down at the worst possible moments, and leave you questioning why you ever signed the paperwork in the first place. Today, we're exposing the 11 worst car brands you should avoid in 2025. From failing engines and nightmare transmissions to sky-high repair bills and plummeting resale values, these brands all have one thing in common: regret. And what's shocking is that one brand on this list was once legendary for its quality. But now, it's drowning in recalls and expensive failures. If you're even thinking about buying one of these cars, stop what you're doing and watch this first. Let's dive in. Number 11. Nissan. Once upon a time, Nissan was a respected brand. Cars like the Maxima and 300ZX were fun, reliable, and built to last. But after Nissan merged with Renault, things went downhill fast. Quality dropped, reliability took a nosedive, and their reputation has never fully recovered. The biggest disaster? Nissan's CVT transmissions. They were one of the first brands to roll them out, hoping for innovation, but instead, it turned into a nightmare. These transmissions fail early, often before 100,000 miles. And when they go, you're looking at a $4,000 to $5,000 repair bill. Models like the Sentra and Pathfinder are infamous offenders. But it doesn't stop there. Nissan's engines have serious design flaws. Some burn oil far too quickly, while others leak oil like a sieve. Add in constant recalls, from faulty Takata airbags to rusting body panels, and it's a recipe for disaster. Even their infotainment systems feel outdated and glitchy. Sure, you can find a nearly new Nissan for under $20,000, but there's a reason they're cheap. Nobody wants them. Poor fuel economy makes things worse. On paper, the Armada claims 16 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway. In reality, many owners report as low as 12 miles per gallon city. That's constant stops at the pump and a hole in your wallet. Transition. If Nissan's fall from grace was painful to watch, the next brand proves that even luxury badges can't hide the truth about reliability. Number 10. Land Rover. Land Rover sells an image of rugged luxury, but underneath the sleek design, the truth is ugly. Their cars are plagued with problems: leaky sunroofs, shoddy seals, constant electrical failures, and suspension systems that collapse long before they should. Ask almost any Land Rover owner and you'll hear the same story. Endless trips to the mechanic and repair bills that could fund a vacation. Air suspension breakdowns are common, and electrical gremlins haunt everything from window switches to infotainment screens. Resale value? Awful. A 5 or 6-year-old Land Rover loses value faster than most budget-friendly American and Japanese SUVs. Why? Because buyers know the headache they're signing up for. And maintenance costs are brutal. Brakes and tires alone may need replacing every 15,000 miles, costing up to $5,000. Add in software glitches and sky-high repair bills, and you've got a recipe for regret. Even worse, Consumer Reports consistently ranks Land Rover near the very bottom for reliability. Imagine spending $55,000 on a Range Rover Evoque, only to discover it's less reliable than a $30,000 Toyota RAV4. That says it all. But if Land Rover disguises its flaws in luxury, the next brand tries to sell itself as rugged and adventurous, only to leave its owners stranded. Number 9. Jeep. Jeep has the heritage, the off-road cred, and the marketing slogans that make you think it's a smart buy, but peel back the badge and you'll see why Jeep consistently ranks among the worst. Out of 43 car brands in the US, Jeep has been stuck in the bottom 10 for sales growth, and it's not hard to see why. For off-roading, sure, Jeeps make sense, but for daily driving, they're a nightmare. The ride is rough, the handling's sloppy, and the interiors feel like they're made from bargain bin plastics. Technology is outdated, speed is sluggish, and safety is questionable. Jeep hasn't landed an IIHS top safety pick since 2019. And it doesn't matter which model you choose. Wrangler, Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Gladiator, Compass, they all rack up complaints. In fact, Consumer Reports once ranked the Wrangler as one of the least reliable vehicles on the road, while the Compass and Grand Cherokee are frequent offenders too. Even the Gladiator, Jeep's much-hyped pickup, is already struggling. There's a reason Jeep owners joke that JEEP stands for Just Empty Every Pocket. Repairs are frequent, parts are expensive, and the brand's reputation for reliability is in freefall. For many buyers, the dream of rugged adventure quickly turns into endless frustration. But Jeep isn't the only American automaker letting buyers down. The next company has been around for over a century, yet its mistakes are just as costly. Number 8. General Motors, GM. GM has a long history in the auto world. Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, Buick. But a legacy name doesn't guarantee quality. Many GM vehicles have suffered from cheap build materials, inconsistent paint jobs, and early rust problems. Even their trucks, like the Silverado, have battled notorious drive shaft vibration issues for years. One of GM's biggest disasters was the North Star engine, where undersized head bolts led to catastrophic engine failure. Transmission control module failures have plagued countless models, leaving owners stranded and footing the bill. And then there's the recalls. Who could forget the infamous 2014 ignition switch scandal? GM only issued recalls when forced by lawsuits, not out of goodwill. This left owners questioning whether GM truly stands behind its cars. Customer service? Abysmal. One-star reviews pile up with complaints of ignored warranties, sloppy repairs, and endless delays. GM might still be a giant in name, but in terms of long-term dependability, it has lost its way. If GM shows how a giant can stumble, the next brand demonstrates how cutting corners and rushing cars to market can ruin everything. Number 7. Chrysler. Chrysler's reputation is one of cheap materials, poor engineering, and endless breakdowns. Interiors feel flimsy, like they're made from recycled toys. Owners complain their cars fall apart far too soon, and Chrysler has done little to fix it. Production is often rushed, leading to sloppy assembly and poor fit and finish. Even popular models like the Pacifica minivan have been plagued with recalls. From stalling engines to faulty cruise control systems to gear shifters that cause rollaways, Chrysler vehicles are a headache waiting to happen. In 2018, nearly 15,000 Pacificas were recalled for engine control software failures and defective batteries. RepairPal lists Chrysler's average annual repair costs at $608, higher than the industry average. And dealerships? They often push blame onto the owner to avoid honoring warranties. Even when they agree, the repair process drags on, leaving owners frustrated. With Chrysler changing hands between Daimler, Cerberus, Fiat, and now Stellantis, the problems never seem to go away. It's a revolving door of ownership with the same old issues. And speaking of premium names with painful ownership experiences, the next brand is notorious for combining luxury looks with nightmarish upkeep. Number 6. BMW. If you've ever spoken to a BMW owner, chances are you've heard the same complaints. Sky-high repair bills, constant trips to the shop, and an endless list of small but costly issues. And unfortunately, they're not exaggerating. BMWs are infamous for being over-engineered. Their suspension parts, cooling systems, and even basic gaskets wear out far too quickly. Engines like the N20, N55, and N63 have specific weak points: timing chain issues, oil leaks, and battery draining problems. Repairs are never cheap, and mechanics often need special tools just to get started. The biggest trap? Depreciation. A brand new M4 might cost $80,000 today, but in just 10 years, you'll see them selling for $25,000 or less. That seems like a bargain, until you realize the buyer who got a deal is now buried in thousands of dollars in repairs. BMW isn't shy about dragging out warranty claims either. Owners report long delays, denied repairs, and poor customer service. And let's not forget the massive recall of over 720,000 BMWs for faulty water pumps that could actually cause fires. That's not just expensive, that's dangerous. If BMW is the poster child for over-engineering gone wrong, the next brand proves that old prestige doesn't guarantee modern-day reliability. Number 5. Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes was once built like a tank. Ask anyone who owned a 1980s model, and they'll tell you those cars were practically indestructible. But after the year 2000, things changed. Mercedes swapped to water-based paints that rust faster, stuffed their cars with overcomplicated electronics, and suddenly the brand's bulletproof reputation started to crumble. Take their air suspension systems. Great when new, but when they fail, you're looking at thousands to repair. Their 7 G-tronic gearboxes demand precise, on-time servicing or they break down. And their turbocharged engines? Skip a few oil changes and you're in trouble. Even luxury isn't safe. Hydraulic engine mounts wear out and create constant vibration. Air suspensions sag unevenly, and even gearbox mounts rattle. Imagine buying a 6-figure sedan that shakes like an old pickup truck. Fuel economy is also disappointing. Mercedes prioritizes power and performance, so city drivers often end up with shockingly bad mileage. For a brand that's supposed to represent the best or nothing, owners are often left with nothing but problems. But if Mercedes has drifted into expensive unreliability, the next brand barely pretends to care about reliability at all. Number 4. Jaguar Search. Jaguar online, and the first thing you'll see? Terrible reliability rankings. Out of 32 brands, Jaguar usually lands around 29th. That says everything you need to know. Their biggest problem? Engines that practically self-destruct. The Ingenium diesel engine has been infamous for catastrophic failures. Add to that failing infotainment screens, gear selectors that refuse to rise, and electronics that just stop working. Sure, Jaguars look stunning from the outside, but peel back the leather and chrome and you'll find outdated designs that haven't been refreshed since 2014. Inside, they feel old and uninspired compared to the competition. Maintenance costs? Brutal. On average, Jaguar owners spend over $1,100 per year on repairs, almost double the industry average. Worse, 14% of those repairs are severe, meaning they aren't small fixes, they're big-dollar headaches. The Jaguar F-Pace is one of the worst offenders, with problems ranging from instrument cluster failures to overheated engines and drained batteries. In fact, it racked up 12 manufacturer recalls and was ranked the least reliable vehicle of 2019 by Consumer Reports. Jaguars may look like luxury, but the next brand proves that even history-rich names can collapse under scandal and sloppy engineering. Number 3. Volkswagen. Volkswagen has a complicated reputation. For some, it's the Beetle and Golf GTI, fun, iconic cars with history. For others, it's endless repair bills and frustrating ownership. And sadly, the second group is often right. Volkswagens are notoriously expensive to fix. Many mechanics in the US aren't familiar with their complex layouts, so even simple repairs become nightmares. Parts are often imported, adding delays and costs. Electrical gremlins are everywhere. Failing sensors, glitchy infotainment, broken AC compressors, and random warning lights are just part of the ownership experience. Add in the infamous Dieselgate scandal, where VW cheated emissions tests, and the brand's reputation took a massive hit worldwide. And then there are the recalls. Nearly 80,000 Volkswagens were recalled for defective software that caused dashboard displays to fail. Imagine driving without a working speedometer or backup camera. That's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Sure, an older VW Jetta might seem appealing, but when compared to a bulletproof Toyota Corolla, the choice is obvious. VWs simply don't hold up over time. But if Volkswagen leaves you with headaches, the next brand takes those frustrations and multiplies them, all while trapping you in luxury packaging. Number 2. Audi. Audi is the definition of a luxury trap. The cars look gorgeous, feel premium, and drive beautifully when new, but the honeymoon doesn't last long. J.D. Power ranks Audi only slightly above average for long-term reliability, hardly what you'd expect from a luxury marque. While a few owners boast of hitting 100,000 miles, pushing to 200,000 is nearly impossible without major breakdowns. Electronics are the Achilles heel. Constant warning lights, glitchy systems, and failures that leave cars stranded are all too common. A fuel pump replacement? Around $2,000, and that's just one example of the sky-high costs. The Audi Q5 has even been known to randomly trigger every single car alarm, forcing owners to tow their vehicle just to silence it. Dealerships love seeing Audis roll in, but if your warranty has expired, you'll be paying thousands. And with limited Audi dealerships, wait times stretch on endlessly. Audi's obsession with packing in complex tech means more things break. Even routine maintenance drains your wallet. It's a brand that sells prestige, but what you really buy is regret. And if Audi is a luxury trap, the final brand may surprise you most of all. Once known for safety, it now finds itself at the very top of the regret list. Number 1. Volvo. Volvo. The name practically screams safety. For decades, that was their claim to fame. But in 2025, safety doesn't equal reliability. Consumer Reports gave the Volvo XC 40 below-average ratings in both 2022 and 2023, with only slight improvements for 2024. Models like the XC90, XC60, and XC40 have all racked up complaints about failing climate control, glitchy in-car electronics, and even engine-related issues. The worst part? These problems are expensive. On average, Volvo owners spend about $769 per year on maintenance, adding up to over $13,000 in just 10 years, far higher than most competitors. Brakes have been a huge safety concern. A recall was issued after a software glitch prevented the brake assist system from activating. Imagine slamming your brakes and the system doesn't respond. That's not just unreliable, that's terrifying. Yes, Volvos are comfortable and stylish, but when it comes to long-term ownership, the reality is harsh. Frequent electrical problems, high costs, and serious safety recalls make it a brand to think twice about before buying. So there you have it, the 11 car brands you'll regret buying in 2025. Some were once respected, others hide behind luxury badges, but they all share the same truth. They'll empty your wallet and test your patience. But here's the good news. Not every car brand is a disaster. In fact, some are still rock-solid reliable and will run for hundreds of thousands of miles without breaking the bank. Click here to watch our video on the most reliable car brands of 2025, the ones that actually deliver on their promises. Trust me, you'll want to know which cars will go the distance before you spend a single dollar. And if you found this list helpful, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss more car buying advice that can save you from costly mistakes.